most women, but they still ached and loved, cried and prayed, and in their darkest hours repented. Now this house, my house, is all that remains as a testament to an era. If it is this storm that brings down my house, I will go with it. I only hope that this letter and these photographs will survive. My dearest Aunt Josie, by the grace of God, please forgive me. Anna Deubler Brady, 225 Basin Street, New Orleans, August 14, 1997. New Orleans, 1907. Miss Arlington! Josie heard the eager call from a man across the parlor, but she didn't feel inspired to turn her head. Miss Arlington, the man persisted. It is Miss, isn't it? Ignoring him still, Josie sucked in her breath and leaned farther over the new grand piano. A Bosendorfer, shipped all the way from Vienna. Not that that meant anything to her, but it was supposedly the best, and she was sure that meant something to somebody here. If she had stopped to consider things, she would have presented it as a gift to the house professor of the piano, Ferdinand. But she'd long ago forgotten how to do selfless, meaningful gestures, even for a person who was meaningful to her. These days, it was only about business. And besides, Ferdinand didn't like new pianos. He liked the one that had been weathered from his own fingers, which, to his dismay, had been promptly carted off to who knew where. Everybody wants you, Miss Arlington, Ferdinand said, giving her a knowing half-smile. Josie sighed, pursing her painted lips, her gaze locked with his. No, Ferdinand, not everybody. He rolled his long fingers over the keys, the cakewalk, he called it. As I recall, you were equally lemon-faced this very same day of last year. She couldn't believe he'd remembered. It was a small act of kindness that made her heart ache, the way only Ferd seemed able. It had been some time since she'd had a twinge like this, but she knew she mustn't go thinking about that now. This day was always punishing, and there was no need to make it worse by getting overly sentimental or, God forbid, weepy. She shifted her stance, crossing her arms tightly over her chest, lace ribbons, shipped from Belgium, of course, dangling from her wrists and elbows. The sudden change of her demeanor was not lost on Ferdinand. He knew how she was, the type his grandmère would have described as a pomegranate, all ruddy and tough on the outside, but on the inside, a sweetness that couldn't help but bleed. Another call trailed from across the room, this time a gruff voice slurred with drink. We request the honor of your presence, Miss Arlington. You best tend to your patrons, ma'am, Ferdinand said softly, giving a little nod as if coaxing a child. Josie took to it, looking at him with heavy eyes. Yes, the patrons. All those men with wandering, grabby hands and sweaty palms. All those demanding eyes and stale cigar breath. And all those billfolds full of cash. She straightened herself up, smoothing the front of her powder pigeon gown. Not a thread out of place, Ferdinand reassured. Of course not, Josie replied, her voice already growing distant. It's the finest from Paris. By the time she turned from Ferdinand to face the crowded parlor, her full transformation, one she'd spent years perfecting, had occurred. Her impishness was gone. Her posture was Victorian straight, bosom thrust forward, shoulders pinned back, nose lifted, her expression both hard and sultry at the same time. She was no longer the down-on-her-luck girl Ferdinand had met way back when. She was now the legendary Madame Josie Arlington, a legend of her own making. Josie glided across the Persian rugs, past rococo furnishings, crystal chandeliers, sconces, and artwork chosen by the finest art dealers in New Orleans.